Hello people and welcome to the channel. Not so long ago I asked you who was the hardest Pokémon for an Emerald Sword run between Whismur and Skitty. And Skitty was the clear winner. I'll tackle the Whismur challenge somewhere in the future. For now, let's focus on this little cat. Before we get started, it's really important to explain my rule set as it might differ from what you expect. First of all, only Skitty can be used in battle. How surprising. I play without using items in battle and with level caps. Over-leveling is not an interesting way to win a challenge, but without any further adjustment, this limitation would make the run straight up impossible. The main difference from the usual sword run is that while I will be using only one Skitty in battle, it doesn't have to be the same Skitty for the whole run. So don't be surprised to see me catching or breeding a new one. TMs and tutor moves are infinite once I get access to them, and to prevent me from falling into insanity while breeding new kittens and EV training, I will be using PK hacks and a few other programs to avoid all the grinding. Don't worry, I always make sure to not end up with an illegal Pokémon and only skip the most time-consuming stuff. If something looks weird, just tell me in the comments, or check this video where I explain everything about how I skip grinding. Now that the rules part is out of the way, let's take a closer look to Skitty. With a total of 260, Skitty is the Pokémon with the lowest base stat I've ever played with so far, even lower than Surskit. Although I have to admit the distribution is not so bad. Skitty is for sure really frail, but with proper EV training, 50 base speed will allow me to attack before most of my opponents, and 45 attack, while not great, is not too terrible when you have access to stab return. Let's take a look at the moveset. Like many other normal types, Skitty has a surprisingly wide type coverage. Ice Beam and Thunderbolt are excellent, and even Solar Beam might have some niche uses. Add Calm Mind to the mix, and Skitty, despite its abysmal 35 base special attack, might become a real threat. However, what I think is going to make this run very interesting is Assist. Assist is one of those very gimmicky moves that never really see much action in a standard playthrough, but I'm really excited to have it at my disposal for this challenge. Let's end this section of the video by taking a look at the breeding moves. As mentioned before, I am allowed to breed, so the egg moves are on the table. Skitty has few interesting options, but they are very niche and I'm not sure how useful they will be. Without further ado, let's jump into the run. I replaced Trico with Skitty so that May will have Torchic, for sure the hardest starter line to deal with. It doesn't take long to realize that the early game is gonna be hell. Roxanne's Pokémon will barely take any damage, Brawly fighting types might very well one-shot me after a single bulk up, and Watson is known to be a very hard third gym leader. So get comfy, because this will take a while. Now, you might be wondering why the battle against the level 2 Zigzagoon is still going. Well, in order to have a chance against Roxanne, not only I had to reset to find a very specific Skitty, I also need to be as efficient as possible with the EV training. And killing this Zigzagoon would give me undesired experience. The battle is set to let the player win anyway, so before giving the final blow, Zigzagoon flees and I can move on. Before facing May, I do some slight EV training to get a little boost on the HP and, to make sure I have a level advantage. 3 tackles are going to be enough to take down May's Torchic, and in the meantime you can see on the right a chart with the IVs and EVs of the Skitty I'm using. There's also a reset counter to keep track of how many battles I lose, so if you want to take a guess on the final reset number, this is a good moment to do it. The trainers on their way to Rustboro are all pretty easy, but we all know I am soon to get walled. Let's get this over with, time to battle Roxanne. I made sure to start the game with a male Skitty with the sole purpose of using Attract against Roxanne's Pokémon. Using Attract is a cheap strategy, but you know what's even cheaper? Sing. Basically, the idea is to use Attract and then hope the RNG stars align. Infatuation has to keep my opponents from attacking, and Sing has to land more than it should. Not only that, but my best move is going to be Double Slap, which is also really RNG dependent, even more if you consider I am banking on some crits. Thanks to a relatively good attack, each Double Slap hit will deal 2 damage and a crit will do 5. This is true for the 2 Geodudes, not for the Nosepass, but for that I'm gonna have to use Tackle anyway. Double Slap only has 10 PP, and even considering the Lepa Berry, by the time Nosepass comes out, I'll only have a couple left, if any. It took me 10 resets to realize this wasn't going to work. Sure, maybe with 10 more tries I could have gotten a lucky enough attempt, but I don't like to get past a difficult fight just with luck and prayers. Nonetheless, this was a once-in-a-lifetime occasion to face my bias towards Attract. I've gone on record for saying that I don't believe infatuation is only a 50-50. And this doesn't come from the common "my RNG is always bad" syndrome. I distinctly remember using Attract in Gen 2 to easily cheese the red fight with an ungodly amount of infatuation turns, to a point where I started to consider it a reliable strategy. So I went over all of my Roxanne attempts and counted how many turns Attract prevented my opponents from attacking. Get ready for some numbers. Out of 190 turns, Attract worked in my favor 100 times, so roughly 52.6% of the times. And you know how we always like to say that moves like Sing, Double Slap and even Tackle miss way more than they should? Well, out of 97 Sing, 50 hit the opponent. I landed 115 Double Slap out of 130, and finally Tackle missed 5 times out of 57. So I have to admit, there is no Attract conspiracy, no scheme working against us that makes playing Pokemon less enjoyable. Now, hoping I didn't drive away all of you, let's get back to the run right at the start of attempt 13. The strategy I'm using is slightly different. I'm still going to use Attract and Sing, but this time instead of mindlessly attacking with Double Slap, I'm going to lower Geodude's defense with Tail Whip. But how do I have Tail Whip with the same Skitty, you might wonder? There's no move relearner yet. Well, given how shaky was the first game section, I took the precaution to keep an early save file right after the starter choice. And I'd say it paid off. Resetting the run completely would have been a pain when you consider how time-consuming it is to find a good starting Pokemon. Anyway, at -4 defense, Geodude should go down in 6 or 7 Double Slap hits. Roxanne will use a potion if given the chance, but now that I'm actually dealing damage, I don't really care, and a 4 hits Double Slap takes it down quickly thanks to a crit. So, not without some good luck, I'm still full HP for the second Geodude. Same as before, Attract and Sing are my friends and defense score is really lucky. But that's just because I'm running a Tail Whip strategy. An early defense score would otherwise halve my Double Slap damage, and let me tell you that it's not fun to go through 37 HP and the potion 1 hit point at a time. But the past is the past, now I don't care too much about defense score, and once Geodude goes down to -4, I can start attacking. As expected, it tries to lower my speed with Rock Tomb in the process, but after some mixed luck towards the end, Garfield manages to come out on top with plenty of HP left. Last is Nosepass, but this is the easiest part. I'm already slower, so Nosepass is stuck with Tackle until I'm in Rock Tomb kill range. Also, Nosepass loves to set up its defense before attacking, so I'm basically locking it into Harden with the constant defense drops. Thanks to Attract, it has no way to keep up with my Tail Whips, and eventually I get it to -6. Roxanne doesn't even have any potion left, and the Oran Berry did literally nothing as Nosepass ended up being a 3-hit KO anyway. This cat actually beat Nosepass without a scratch. How ironic. Lately, Roxanne is proving to be a really tedious fight, isn't it? First badge is mine, let's finally move on. There is no real obstacle between me and Broly, but I need some specific preparation before the next gym battle. First of all, I catch a good Skitty from the route Northwest Borough. Being able to get a new Pokemon so early is huge. The Skitty I have with me right now would stand next to no chance against Broly, not to mention it's almost at the level cap, which means I don't have much room for EV training. Speaking of EV training, after delivering the letters to Steven, Mr. Stone rewards me with the XP share. I cannot use anything more than 1 Skitty in battle, but this will allow me to split the experience in 2, and as a result, the amount of EVs I can gain without over-leveling is effectively doubled. Delivering the letter also unlocks Slateport, so I go there and pick up the TM for Thief from the grant at the museum. Now, at level 19, Skitty learns Assist, and I believe this move will shape my future approach to the run. Assist lets the user execute a move picked randomly from the other Pokemon in the party. However, and this is crucial, not every move can be selected by Assist. There is a list of ineligible moves, and among them we have Protect, Mimic, Metronome, Thief, Helping Hand, and of course Assist. So, what can I do with this move? Virtually everything. Back to Petalburg Woods, I catch a Cascoon. Dustox is known to be an incredibly good Broly's counter thanks to its typing, but in this case we only care about the moveset. I can train one up to level 17 with the XP share so that it will have Gust, Confusion and Protect. Dustox can also learn Thief, so that's going to be its 4th move. You see where this is going. With my new Skitty, these Dustox in the party, and some decent RNG, I should be able to beat Broly. Let's see how it goes. First is my Chop. Thanks to a nicely trained special attack and a decent attack, Snowball should be able to take it down with 2 assists, as long as it rolls Confusion at least once. But first, I deemed worthy to use Attract. Not sure if this was the correct play, but thanks to some good infatuation luck and 2 confusions in a row, I am able to get past my Chop without losing a single HP. Now the only problem is Makuhita, since Meditite's only damaging move is Focus Punch, and there's no way in hell I am going to let it use that. Makuhita likes to set up Bulk Up before attacking, and I should be able to leave a Vital Throw even if it's a +1 attack, so using Attract seemed like a good play. The infatuation luck continues, but with hindsight I should have included Growl in my strategy. And the reason is made immediately clear. If, like in this case, Makuhita decides to attack right away, then not even the Oran Berry will be enough to pull me out of kill range. Not to mention Makuhita is bound to last longer due to the Citrus Berry, so yeah, even a second confusion roll in a row isn't going to win me the battle. Unless I get a critical hit. Well, I got bailed out by some clutch RNG, that's for sure. So let's just take this undeserved badge and move on. Before leaving Dewford for good, I need to catch a Geodude from Granite Cave. Geodude is the only real ground type obtainable at this point of the game, and we are heading to the Electric Gym, so it's easy to predict what's about to happen. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, because between us and Mauville there is the hardest rival battle of the run. Combusken can hit very hard with Stab Double Kick, but at least I already have a good way to counter fighting types. RNG will once again play a big role, so let's see if Lady Luck is still on our side. The low double slap roll on Wingull is not a good sign, but at least it just went for Water Gun instead of using Growl or even worse, Supersonic. Another double slap scores the kill and heals the Combusken. As long as I roll Confusion at least once, 2 assists should take it down, and looks like I will be able to win. Even more so if Combusken wastes its turn with Focus Energy. A second Confusion is more than enough to kill, and last is Lambre, but there's very little it can do. Like, I have 6 levels on it, a relatively good defense, not to mention Swift is not a great move, but Skitty is still a very frail Pokémon, so dealing only 6 damage is kinda embarrassing. Anyway, Maze defeated, so it's time to prepare for Watson. First of all, reaching Mauville gives me access to the Gain Corner TMs, and Skitty can learn Thunderbolt and Ice Beam. 2 incredibly good moves, but sadly they aren't great for the Watson fight. On the other hand, having access to the Daycare is going to help me a lot for the upcoming battle. By exploiting the Gen 3 breeding mechanics, I can get my hands on a Pokémon with a specific nature and sky-high IVs. Watson is the first leader with a fully evolved Pokémon, so it's no surprise I need a top percentage Skitty to deal with him. Now, let's talk about the Geodude I got. It's clear I want to have it in my party for assist, but what moves should it know? Because things were easy with Dustox. Gust and Confusion were both good options, and Protect and Thief could not be picked by assist. On the other hand, at this point in the game I cannot give Geodude any uneligible move, so assist will pick any of its 4 moves. Eventually I settled for Magnitude, Mudspot, Swagger and Flamethrower, which is a Gain Corner TM and the Geodude line can learn for some reason. Even more than before I'm in the RNG hands, but I think this setup gives me the best chances of victory. I highly doubt there won't be resets, the real question is, how many? Let's see. Voltorb is first, and I probably would have tried to use Sing if it wasn't for soundproof. So yeah, I'm kinda forced to use Assist right away. I outspeed and Flamethrower might look good, but it's actually the worst move. Not much damage and a full power spark brings me down to almost half HP. Judging by Sylvester's stats, it's clear I'm banking a lot on Magnitude, but the hike attack makes Double Slap a viable option as well. And in this case it's the best I can do, as long as it doesn't hit only 2 times. Here's the 3rd hit, so first Pokémon down, 3 more to go. Not looking good though. The lowish HP along with the fact I no longer had the Cherry Berry led me to try the Coin Flip Sync on Electrike. Electrike is for sure the weakest Pokémon in Watson's team, but I was hoping to exploit the sleep turns to set up Mudspot through assist before advancing to the next Pokémon. Instead, not only I rolled another flamethrower, but then Electrike woke up right away. It's too risky to use Sing again, and Double Slap is a dangerous option too when the opponent has static, so not much I can do besides going for the kill with assist. Swagger wouldn't have been so bad if it wasn't for the unlucky miss, and the shockwave from Electrike further reinforces my impression that I'm not going to win this one. At least the turn after I roll yet another flamethrower, so I finally take down Electrike. Next is Magneton. The only way out of this is 2 really high magnitude in a row or some Swagger shenanigans. And while I was hoping to roll Mudspot earlier, now it's a bit too late, even though it prevents me from fainting to Magneton's Shockwave. Let's speed this up a little. At this point it's absolutely impossible to win, because no good RNG can save me from Manectric's quick attack. Well, I'm not getting to Manectric anyway. The reset counter goes up to 13, let's try again. Voltorb goes pretty much the same way. Assist rolls Flamethrower, Spark deals a good chunk, and my Cherry Berry is consumed. Flamethrower rolled a bit low this time, and I don't think a 3-hit Double Slap would be enough, so I go for Assist again, and Magnitude 7. You'll love to see it. Just like the last time, I'm not in a good spot, so I go for Sing with Electrike, hoping to set up a Mudspot while it's asleep. Good thing I'm landing Sing consistently, but it's worth nothing if I keep rolling Flamethrower. Okay, this time Sleep is lasting a bit longer, and finally I managed to set up Mudspot. I'm in a much better spot now. Double Slap would kill for sure from here, but I'm not messing up with static, so I just have to hope Assist rolls a damaging move. And a Magnitude 6, even if subpar, is good enough to take down Electrike. Magneton is third, and since I'm faster, he's most likely going to try and paralyze me with Thunder Wave. Unless I get another Magnitude. Well, Magnitude 5 is underwhelming to say the least, a 7 would have killed here. I guess I'm gonna have to deal with paralysis for the rest of the battle. Due to Mudspot, Sonic Boom is Magneton's best damaging option now, and I can't take another one, so let's hope Assist doesn't let me down. Flamethrower. For once, I was hoping to roll it. The situation, however, is desperate. Reaching level 26 is potentially huge, as it will allow me to leave a quick attack even if Manectric goes at +1 attack, but if you consider that Manectric has a Citrus Berry equipped and Watson still hasn't used a single super potion, it's clear I'm going to need several turns to take it down. So, Sing it is. Okay, good. Now please, stay asleep, don't get full para, and you know what? Roll a Magnitude if possible, maybe a 10, just for good measure. Well, talk about outstanding RNG. I wouldn't have been surprised to have 25 resets at this point of the game, but I have just barely half. And now that Watson is defeated, with a new level cap of 29, I expect the run to become much easier. Up to this point I needed a good amount of luck to get past all the major fights. The most consistent one was Broly, because I was able to better use Assist by narrowing down the eligible moves to just Gust and Confusion. Now, from Route 117, I can catch a Volbit. It's a 1% encounter, so it does take a while, but it's undoubtedly worth the trouble. Thanks to the new level cap, I can train it up with the EXP share up to level 29, when it learns Protect. Then I teach it Thief, don't forget that according to my ruleset TMs are infinite, and on my way to Meteor Falls, I stop by the 4 Arbor Mart. There, a lady offers to teach Metronome to one of my Pokémon, so I go ahead and replace Volbit's Moonlight with it. Protect, Thief, Tail Glow and Metronome. Only one of these moves can be picked by Assist, and that's Tail Glow, one of the best setup moves in the game. Maxi will be the first one to experience my new strategy. Of course, to exploit Tail Glow to the fullest, I need to breed a new Skitty, so let me introduce Smelly Cat. To be honest, Maxi kinda counters the Tail Glow strategy. I need time to set up my sweep, and Sand Attack is potentially deadly. My offensive power might have just skyrocketed, but Skitty is still the same frail Pokémon, so one miss at the wrong moment can cost me the match. All I need are 2 Tail Glows, but my Tiana is faster, so in the meantime my accuracy gets lowered 3 times, which leads to an Ice Beam miss into a 4th Sand Attack. Not looking good, but at least I managed to land an Ice Beam right after. I'm not worried about Zubat since I have a Persimmon Berry equipped, but I'm still relieved to see it going down right away. Last is Camerupt. At -4 accuracy, my chances to land Ice Beam are just above 40%, so I'm aware that hitting a third one in a row was pretty lucky. Tailglow is going to carry me in the Flannery fight as well, and there is no Pokémon in her team that can really ruin my setup, so I expect her to be a pushover. Let's see if I'm right. First is Numel. It might be only level 24 and, well, it's only Numel, but Stab over Hit is so strong to justify my full investment on Smelly Cat's special defense. Yeah, almost half HP disappears. Imagine if it set up Sunny Day beforehand. But now, due to the crippled special attack, I only have to worry about a takedown crit or an high roll magnitude which, from my experience, Numel tends to not select. I need to get to +6 special attack if I want to one-shot Torkoal, so the risk to get punished is there for sure, but seems like I will be able to get away with it. Ice Beam absolutely destroys Numel, and for Slugma I simply switch to Thunderbolt. Camerupt is next, so Ice Beam again, and my special attack is just barely enough to ensure Torkoal can survive a single Thunderbolt. Another badge acquired. Time to go back to Petalburg to face my father. So, you might be wondering, is this all going to be about Tailglow? Well, not really. Skitty's special attack is so low that it won't be able to sweep most of my future opponents even if I fully set up. Assist will still be put to good use, but with another move. The new Assist Pokémon is a bit harder to set up, so follow me through the process. First I need to catch a female Nincada from Route 116. Once it evolves to Ninjask, it can learn Swords Dance at level 25. That's not enough though. Back to Mauville, I leave Ninjask at the daycare. Not alone, Volbit will keep it company. The two species are compatible, and when it comes to breeding, not only it's possible to pass down the egg moose, but also TMs as long as they are learnable by the newborn. Volbit has Protect, and Protect is a TM that pretty much every Pokémon can learn. So now I have a Nincada that knows it. At this point all I need to do is to bring it up to level 25, and then teach it Thief via TM and Mimic thanks to the move tutor in Lava Ridge. And here we have it. A Ninjask whose only eligible move for assist is Swords Dance. Add the fact that we recently got access to the Return TM, and it's easy to realize that our Skitty has just become a powerhouse. Trust me, Norman is not gonna have a good time. First is Pinda with its annoying Theta Dance. Confusion can be devastating while setting up Swords Dance, but I only need to use it once and I have a Persim Berry equipped. Well, Facade is fine, even though it deals a surprising amount of damage. A full power Stab Return is going to obliterate the poor Spinda, and the second Pokémon should be Slaking since it has a fighting move in counter. As I said at the beginning of the video, 50 base speed is enough to be faster than most of my opponents, and Slaking is no exception, even though I have to thank the badge boost for this one. Having a 10% boost on my stats is incredibly helpful, and I'd say it gets kinda overlooked during these runs. Anyway, Skitty can learn Dig, so as you can see Slaking is literally unable to hit me. I just have to make sure it gets low enough and then use Return to land the final blow. At this point only Vigoroth and Linoone are left, but they won't even get the opportunity to touch me. At +2 attack they have no chance to survive a single return. Like, it's not even close. If I had 0 EVs on my attack, Linoone still would have died in one hit. This battle was a good demonstration of how strong is Stab Return when paired with Swords Dance. It kinda reminded me of Zangoose, even though Skitty's attack is less than half. There's nothing exciting about the trip to Fortree. I don't expect many to give issues, and the Team Aqua at the Weather Institute should be the usual pushover. I do have to say that the battle against the admin was alarming. Like, yeah, I can now reliably use Swords Dance and Tailglow, but every turn I give to my enemy can potentially lead to a reset. Also, I just talked about how good is Skitty's speed, but without any EV training to back it up, even an underleveled Mightyena can attack before me. Anyway, the rival battle is a free win. Pelipper loves to spam Protect and I love to set up, so it's easy to reach an agreement. And no, it wasn't necessary to go all the way to +6 attack, but it's satisfying to completely overwhelm the opponent using an apparently innocent Skitty. I don't think the upcoming battle against Winona will be much harder, and there's nothing relevant between me and the next gym leader, so let's just see the battle. First is Swablu. If the fluffy bird doesn't use Perisong right away, I pretty much win. Yeah, because thanks to Skitty's great special coverage, I have a super effective option against every single one of Winona's Pokémon, so all I need is one Tail Glow to ensure I one-shot all of them. To be honest, Skarmory is pretty weak on the special defense side, and the other Pokémon, while bulkier, are 4 times weak to either Ice or Electric. Anyway, Winona got swept, so with another badge in the bag and a level cap of 42, we made our entrance into the late game. Exploiting assist is clearly the way to victory, but some of the upcoming fights won't allow me to do it easily. Before explaining what I mean, it's due to at least show the rival battle in Lily Cove. The only way this fight can be difficult is if I need to get access to the department store before Winona. But with the Tate and Liza level cap, I can brute force through it thanks to a sizable level advantage. With that said, I was awfully close to lose. Surely it was unlucky that Tropius didn't waste a single turn with Sweet Scent, and Combusken going for Quick Attack was also unexpected, but considering my advantage, I feel like I shouldn't have been one crit away from resetting. And no, the freeze at the end most likely didn't matter as I was only dead to crit. I'm happy to not increase the reset counter, but I wish they gave May a better team. After all, it's a completely optional battle. At least give her a full evolved starter, I don't know. Anyway, all I need from the department store is a couple of Protect TMs and access to the move tutor for Substitute. Substitute is a broken move, and I'll try to not abuse it too much, but it does make the upcoming Maxi 2 battle a whole lot easier, so I'm not going to pass on it for this time. Especially considering we are going to experience a new difficulty. To reach Maxi, I need to have with me a Pokémon with Strength, and I don't like that. Bringing an HM user ruins my assist strategies. Luckily, I just got access to the move deleter, so at least I can make sure that the HM user only knows Strength, but that's not enough to solve the issue. Since I want to use Tail Glow to beat Maxi, I'll bring with me 4 Volbeat identical to the one you already know. This way Assist will have an 80% chance to select the move I want, and if I roll Strength once or twice, Substitute will make sure I won't have to pay any consequences. The AI hates to be slower and is not capable to realize my stats cannot be lowered behind a Substitute, so my Tiena is pretty much locked into Scary Face. And seems like the Substitute precaution was very much needed. I roll Strength twice, so it takes 5 turns before I'm fully set up, and at that point nothing can stop me, of course. The only one who can land a hit is Crobat. Nobody expects a Skitty to outspeed a Crobat, but all it managed to do is to destroy the Substitute. Camrap dies to Ice Beam, and Maxi is defeated. Easy. The Team Aqua hideout is a joke, so let's skip a little bit ahead. It's almost time to face the twins at the Most Deep Gym, but as always they need a brief introduction. Basically, for this double battle only, I allow myself to use 2 actual Pokémon. Many times I managed to win using a Magikarp to fill the second slot, but after hours of thinking and planning, I had to conclude that Skitty is not able to win the 2v1 without an absurd amount of good RNG. So I'd much rather find a reliable strategy with 2 Skitties. For the first time in this run, I'm going to use one of Skitty's egg moves. My rules for the egg moves are pretty straightforward. If I want to use one, I must have access to the daycare, to both parent species, and the move must be learned within the current level cap. In this case, I want Helping Hand, which meets all the requirements. So, after catching a male Minun from Route 110 and spending some time breeding, I get myself to brand new Skitty for the upcoming gym fight, Scratchy and Cat Therapy. Not sure why I broke my naming theme for the last one. Anyway, with the 2 new entries and a fainted Ninjask in the party, I'm ready to face Tate and Liza. Tate and Liza lead with Xatu and Claydol. Scratchy is going to be my main attacker, while Cat Therapy is only here to serve 2 purposes. The first is to bait Psychic from both Xatu and Claydol on the first turn and use Protect. Scratchy will then be able to freely set up a Source Dance with Assist. In double battles, Assist can select one of the allied Pokémon's attacks, but Cat Therapy only knows Protect, Assist, Mimic and Helping Hand. All ineligible moves. I need to take down Claydol as soon as possible, but even with the maximum attack imaginable and a Source Dance, Scratchy's Shadow Ball is not enough to kill. And this leads to Cat Therapy's second and last purpose. Thanks to Helping Hand, which is a priority move, for this turn Scratchy will have a much needed 50% damage boost. Helping Hand's effect doesn't even wear off if the user faints, so I can serenely let Cat Therapy die to Xatu's Psychic. Killing Claydol gives a much needed level up to Scratchy, which now will be able to outspeed Xatu. At this point all I need is a little bit of luck. Lunaton comes out and both it and Xatu don't see a kill yet, so they are most likely going to set up or inflict a status condition. I have a Lamberry to counter either a Confuse Ray from Xatu or Hypnosis from Lunaton, but Xatu might also set up Sunny Day, which would be not ideal. So I decide to target it first. Let's just hope Lunaton behaves. Well, something tells me I'm not winning on the first try. Maybe I'll be low enough to bait a Solar Beam from Solrock. 0 HP is low enough, alright. Let's try again. You know the plan and nothing can go wrong until Lunaton comes out, so let me skip the first part. This time I decide to take down Lunaton first, since it seems more eager to attack right away. And of course, Xatu couldn't have just used Calm Mind or Confuse Ray, it absolutely had to go for Sunny Day. Whatever, I don't care too much. It's just that without a strong Sunlight, Solrock is guaranteed to waste the first turn to set it up, and that would have made things a bit safer. There's a single Shadow Ball roll that doesn't kill Solrock, but as long as I don't get it, I'll be fine. Are you kidding me? It was a 1 in 16 chance, just like the crit in the previous attempt. To make things even more infuriating, the Citrus Berry puts Solrock just barely out of potion range. An healing turn would have at least allowed me to try again to one-shot Solrock. So yeah, there's nothing I can do. I take my revenge on Xatu, but then Solrock finishes the job with a second Flamethrower. Third time is the charm? Maybe? Once again I take down Lunaton first, and hey, if this was a different game, I would suspect to be playing with the same seed. Xatu goes for Sunny Day again, and now all I have to do to complete the circle is to get that lowest Shadow Ball roll. Okay, thank you. At +1 special attack, Xatu can one-tap me, but thankfully I'm faster and the one-shot, this time, is guaranteed. 2 more resets were needed to get past Tate and Liza, but it's fine. I doubt many of you expected to have such a low reset counter at this point of the game, and I sure didn't when I picked up this Pokémon. The 7th gym is almost always challenging. On the contrary, the battle versus the 2 team leaders never posed much of a threat. I mean, you could get stupidly unlucky in the double battle against Maxi and its admin. Steven is not the best partner after all, but the risk of losing is minimum when you run a stall strategy. Protect and Substitute can reliably keep me safe, and Metang is usually able to do most of the work by itself. Archie is even easier. The battle is very similar to the one against Maxi 2, except that instead of Camerupt there is a frail Sharpedo. But the point is my Tiena. You've seen how the AI behaves in this situation. It will keep spamming Scary Face because I'm faster, failing to realize my stats cannot be lowered while behind a substitute. Not sure why I went for an early Ice Beam, but after a couple of Tail Glows I'll be able to sweep Archie's team with Thunderbolt, and that's all that matters. In order to reach Archie I had to bring with me a Marill that knows Surf, Dive, Strength and Rock Smash. So even if I have 4 Volbeat in the party, there's only a 50% chance that Assist picks Tail Glow. Well, I guess not even the game wants to waste time with this battle. So let's make it quick. Thunderbolt 1, my Tiena goes down. Thunderbolt 2, Crobat goes down. Thunderbolt number 3, Sharpedo is extra dead. Now, I'm gonna be honest. There's a strategy, a really overpowered strategy, that could almost guarantee me to win every battle from here up to the Hall of Fame. However, there's a really cool thing you can do with Assist that I want to show off in this video, and one is the last battle where I can do it. So I decided to save the Supreme strategy for the final gauntlet that is the Elite Four. The thing I want to show you requires a bit of preparation. First I need to catch not 1 but 4 Tropius from the Route West 4 tree, all of which will need to be at level 27. Second, I fly back to Mostip where I fish up a Sharpedo. These 5 Pokémon can all learn the move Roar through TM. Then it's time to pay a visit to the move deleter in Lily Cove. At level 27 Tropius learns Whirlwind, and I'm going to make sure that all 4 are left with nothing more than that and Roar. Sharpedo is needed as an HM user for Surf, I couldn't reach the Sutopolis gym otherwise, and thanks to the move deleter it will only have Surf and Roar. So now, with a new Skitty ready to fight, it's time to subject Juan to the most unfair and torturous strategy he has ever experienced. First is Love-Disc, and it would be so easy to set up Swords Dance against it and then sweep with return. But no, we're not just here to win, we're here to do it in our own special way. So first of all, I'm gonna use Toxic. The most important stat for this strategy is speed, and thanks to its nature and heavy EV training, Idzma is going to outspeed everything, even the Kindra as long as Swift Swim isn't active. The Water Pulse Confusion is unlucky, but I have a Lamberry for this exact eventuality. And now it's time to show what this strategy is all about. Right now Assist has a 90% chance to select either Roar or Whirlwind, two moves that are said to have a negative priority. But if they are called by Assist, well, you can see it. I attack first with Assist, I roll Whirlwind, Love-Disc is forced to be switched out before it gets the chance to attack. Whiscash is dragged out, and since I'm still pretty healthy, it doesn't see a kill with Earthquake, so it's a perfect moment to use Toxic. Whiscash might use Rain Dance here, which is not good considering one has two Pokémon with Swift Swim, but thankfully Amnesia is more likely. Now that I inflicted poison, I can use Assist again, and this time Crodant is dragged out. Crodant is potentially the easiest one to deal with, since it likes to use Leer and Taunt. First I need to poison it, and here's the Taunt. Now I don't like being forced to attack, but at least my only damaging move is Dig, which synergizes very well with Toxic. While I'm underground, the poison damage keeps to increase, and since the turn I attack Crodant goes once again for Taunt, I'm forced to do the same thing again. This time Crodant tries to attack with Crabhammer while I'm not targetable, good thing I dodged it, and then it managed to taunt me for the third time. I did not expect this to go so well. I guess Crodant has a really exploitable moveset. Too bad one doesn't get the chance to waste an Hyper Potion on it. The poison damage has gotten kinda huge already, so there's no way Crodant survives at the end of the turn. Love-Disc is back out, and I would prefer to force a switch, but Taunt is still active, so I have to attack. It's not too bad, I'm just worried to get confused again, this time with no berry to bail me out. And Water Pulse doesn't roll the 20% confusion. Perfect. In case you were wondering, the Toxic damage resets when the Pokémon is switched, so I need to evaluate the situation and try to let Toxic deal as much damage as possible before using Assist. In this case Love-Disc has already taken 2 turns of poison damage, so I decide to go for Protect. That might seem like a no-brainer move, but even with its PP maxed, I only have 16 of them. And as you might have guessed, this is going to be a long battle. Anyway, I know that another turn of poison will trigger one's first Hyper Potion, so I decide to go for Dig again. This way I will attack on the healing turn and I won't give Love-Disc the chance to retaliate. Now it might seem obvious to use Protect as soon as possible, but no, that would put me in an awkward situation. Let's use Dig again and see how it works out. I dodge a Water Pulse, Love-Disc falls down to red due to poison, and at that point Dig can finish the job. If I had used Protect and then Dig, I would have given the chance to attack to the next Pokémon, and the next Pokémon is Whiscash, which, seeing me underground, would have gone for Earthquake for sure. It's still not time to face Whiscash though, so I use Assist. Here comes Celio, but I don't want to deal with it either. I want to poison Kindra before losing any more HP. Whiscash again, so no luck so far, but every time a poison Pokémon is forced to come out, it takes that little bit of poison damage for free. And I have 32 assists at my disposal, so you see how obnoxious this can get for the opponent. Anyway, finally I get to see Kindra. It's very well known how this Pokémon loves to spam Double Team, and I'll be able to play around that later, but for now I need to land Toxic and then force the switch. That's the worst part, because as you can see, one Double Team can make me miss my move, and you don't need me to tell you how dangerous this can get if Kindra boosts its evasion any further. Okay, Roar doesn't miss. Very nice. Here comes Whiscash, and with it, my first mistake. Because I'm not in kill range, so by using Protect, I'm giving it a chance to set up Rain Dance. Well, I got lucky. Earthquake is good and it's more poison damage, but now I have to force the switch. Surf. Yeah, there's a 10% chance to roll that, remember? I needed the Surf to reach the gem. For once I'm really glad to see Rain Dance, Earthquake would have been game over here. And you know what? Since it's raining already, might as well exploit the situation and use Protect. The poison damage has gotten pretty substantial, and Whiscash is the only Pokémon I can't use Dig against due to Earthquake. So Let's say that a really dangerous situation has turned into a golden opportunity. Whiscash goes down to red, one won't use the last hyper potion yet, and now I wouldn't even mind to roll Surf with assist. No Surf, but Whirlwind drags out Celio, which is the one I wanted. Celio is the only Pokémon in one's team that is bound to attack me, and this strategy banks a lot on the AI tendency to set up if it doesn't see a kill. Having my HP lowered before the right time would have made it impossible to poison Whiscash, for example. And yes, there is a right time to be low on HP. After stalling one turn with Protect, I am very glad to poison Celio with Toxic and get my HP lowered by a rain boosted Water Pulse. As long as it doesn't crit or confuses me, that is. At 41 HP I am still a bit too healthy, but Kindra should almost always go for the kill, which means I won't have to worry too much about it setting up double teams. Anyway, after stalling a turn with Protect, it's time to use Assist again. Whiscash comes out, and I'm not even going to waste a Protect, I'll just let the poison finish it later. Assist drags out Kindra, and let me speed this up a little. Until Kindra gets low enough, all I have to do is alternate between Protect and Assist, hoping that the latter doesn't roll Surf. Especially against Kindra. I can leave a hit from Celio, but the chances of dying to Kindra's Ice Beam, as I said, are very high. But thankfully, I didn't get another of those dreadful 10% Surf. So as long as I manage Kindra's HP correctly, I should be safe from here. First, let's use Protect. Since one has only 2 Pokémon left, he will now use the second Hyper Potion. With that in mind, I go for Dig. The poison deals enough damage to activate the potion, and I hit with Dig in the healing turn. The poison damage is getting huge. Let's keep stalling. So Protect, and now if I'm keeping track of Kindra's HP correctly, the next poison turn should not kill it. So I go for Dig. Ice Beam misses and... yes, perfect. I really didn't want to be underground in the turn 1 sends out Celio. Dig finishes off Kindra, and now if these 41 HP are enough, 43, here's the level up, if these 43 HP are enough, I will be able to say that I've beaten one with a ridiculous strategy on the second try. Yeah, the first try I missed Toxic a couple of times, and that led to a quick defeat. Let's start stalling with Protect. Now, as I said, I can leave a hit from Celio, and since I cannot exploit Roar and Whirlwind anymore, I really don't have much of a choice. So let's just hope Celio doesn't get the most depressing critical hit I'll ever witness. Here's the Body Slam. No? No? Okay. I'm so glad I can share this moment with you, because let me tell you that going over it again is almost as satisfying as it was playing it. One is down, and probably is having second thoughts about his life decisions. Before we move on from this battle, I want you to know that I tried to replay it to really understand how likely this was to happen, and the results were atrocious. I have hours of footage of me trying to win again this battle, and I just couldn't do it. Like, the 10% chance of rolling Surf led me to lose the most promising attempts, but at least I can say that has nothing to do with the strategy. The HM was just needed to reach the gym, it was like an unlucky circumstance. I noticed that in future generations Assist cannot select moves like Roar and Whirlwind. I wonder if it has something to do with someone exploiting an obnoxious strategy like this. Anyway, before reaching the Pokémon League, we have a couple more battles in Victory Road. I can manage to go through the cave without using Flash, but 4 HMs are still mandatory to reach the end, so I'll have to bring a Mariel with me. We've already seen how an HM user can make assist strategies much less reliable. However, the hardest fight is the one against Wally, which is at the very beginning of Victory Road. So for that, there's no need to have an HM user. With my old friend Sylvester and a Ninjask in the party, this is gonna be an easy sweep. After setting up Source Dance, that is. A crit from Altaria would have caused a reset, but that didn't happen, so let's speed through this battle. Altaria goes down. Oh, and Heidelcatty. Especially during Nuzlocks, I'm always afraid of this cat pulling off some assist shenanigans, but I guess now it's my turn. For Magneton I have to use Dig. Roselia is frail as ever, and I don't even need to use the super effective Shadow Ball to one-shot Gardevoir. After all, thanks to the stab, Return deals just slightly less damage, even if not super effective. The other trainers are far less punishing than Wally, so I can afford to have some inconsistency in my assist strategies. And for the last one, assist is not even needed. Ice Beam is good enough for Cacturn, and there's no universe in which Pelipper survives a Thunderbolt. So here we are. We reached the Pokémon League. I've already mentioned I'm going to use a very overpowered strategy, so I think it's time to show what I'm talking about. The first victim is gonna be Sydney, and if things go well, this should be the first and last time I see him for this run. Let's start. One might think that using assist in the Pokémon League is not a viable strategy. And yeah, if I, as usual, was entering the Elite Four with one Pokémon for each member of the league, that would be correct. But all I need is a single Skitty as long as I can use the right move with assist. And the right move is Belly Drum, for every single battle. A couple of things might still go wrong. For example, if this Mightyena chose to attack right away, I would have been dead, probably. But Sand Attack was much more likely and I could not afford to get my accuracy dropped, hence the substitute. Now I don't care if my substitute gets destroyed. Belly Drum puts GG at +6 attack, and from there I outspeed and kill everything with return. I'll use the remaining battle to point out that Skitty is part of the fast experience group, so even starting the league at level 49, I should be able to more or less keep up with the level increase of my opponents. The first is down, and you know what? I don't feel like even giving Phoebe the usual intro. There's absolutely no way to lose against her. Dusclops is guaranteed to use Protect, so it's completely safe to set up Belly Drum. Between battles I replace Return with Shadow Ball, and all I have to do is to click it 5 times. I don't know if you noticed, but this Skitty doesn't have the best IVs. It's not even fully EV trained. That's how broken is Belly Drum against the Hoenn Elite Four. I mean, yes, I had to keep a spell tag to one-shot Sableye. And I'm under the impression I forgot to do it. Well, I sure was getting cocky, so the game would have all the rights to punish me. Double Team is scary as always, but today the game decided to be merciful with me. I needed 2 more Shadow Ball to kill Sableye and I didn't miss a single one. The rest of Phoebe's team is guaranteed to go down in one hit at least. Hopefully I won't have to battle Phoebe again, but have no doubt that I'll make sure to double check my held items in case I have to. After what almost happened against Phoebe, I don't like to look overconfident, but Glacia is even easier. I don't need a particular held item to defeat her, I just have to replace Shadow Ball with Return. So no intro for you either, Glacia. When you saw me sending out a Skitty, you shouldn't have dared to use the first turn to set up Hail. That Hail is guaranteed, by the way, but it's funny how Glacia lost the battle to a Skitty by messing up a little bit on the very first turn. I don't know how fast the return sweeps can get old, but I want to remind you that Skitty has a total of 260 base stats. Personally, that's enough for me to enjoy seeing one breeze through the best trainers of the Hoenn region. Now, the upcoming 2 fights might actually cause a reset, so let's give to our next opponent a proper introduction. First is Shelgon. I'm banking on it using Protect on the first turn, but contrary to Phoebe's Dusclops, Shelgon has a chance to attack right away. I'd say it's roughly a 90% chance to use Protect, and I have to admit that what you are seeing is my second attempt at beating Drake. The first was lost due to this Shelgon. If it managed to land a Rock Tomb, like it did, then the speed drop leaves me at the mercy of Drake's dragons, which, I can tell you, they don't like cats. This time, however, Shelgon cooperated, so I'll be fine. At this point, I'm just going to let the battle play out. You don't need me to repeat the same sentence for 5 times. And in the meantime, I want to give you an insight. I considered keeping a White Herb to counter the potential speed drop from Rock Tomb, and that seemed like a good idea. Even if Shelgon uses Protect, I thought that a White Herb would have still been good to counter Salaman's Intimidate. At +5, I only have a 50% chance to one-shot Drake's Ace, but after some research I found out that a White Herb can only restore a negative stat, so going from +6 to +5 would not trigger its effect. To sum it up, I had no way to play around Shelgon's Rock Tomb, and the right play was to simply keep the Seer Scarf to guarantee the one-shot on Salamence. So we finally made it. The last battle of the run. Wallace is tough, no way around it. While the whole Elite Four has a weak lead, the champion has a Wailord packed with really strong moves, among which Water Spout. Believe me when I say I tried to think many different solutions before settling for this one, but there's no point in talking any further when I can show you the battle. Let's go win the run. First is Wailord, and if you're wondering how strong is its water spout, well, let's just say there's no way I can live a full power one. So no first turn belly drum. I hate to say this, but my best bet is probably to rely on Sing. It really sucks to use such a cheap move in the final battle of the run, so I'm not going to select it until it's absolutely necessary. I have a really small chance to set up belly drum without putting Wailord to sleep. First I make a substitute to soak the first water spout damage. Now at 91 HP I'm in kill range of Double Edge, Blizzard and Water Spout of course. If Wallace selects Blizzard and misses, then I'll keep the substitute and I'll get my chance to use belly drum. It's a really long shot, a 1 in 10 chance if I'm not mistaken, so unsurprisingly my substitute gets destroyed right away. Making a substitute cost me 30 HP and I have a citrus berry kept, so I can afford to try again. Here's another Blizzard. Wow, it actually worked. And as I said, I have a citrus berry kept, so my health is just high enough to use belly drum. Yeah, it's too late to land your Blizzard now, Wailord. This single HP I have left will be enough to win the battle. And at this point you know it's going to be me using return 6 times in a row. So let me spare you the exciting commentary of this anticlimactic battle. A couple of things. First I want to say that this was my second Wallace attempt. During the first one, the substitute strategy didn't work and then Sing failed. Second, I want to put one last time the emphasis on Skitty's abysmal stats. Exploiting assist was for sure the best way to play out this run, but I wonder how viable it would have been to win with some smart Calm-Mind setups. After all, I think that using Skitty's signature move to the fullest was the right thing to do. Well, before we finish the run, allow me to do the traditional commentary one last time. Milotic is last, but even after the Intimidate from Gyarados and despite the level disadvantage, GG has no trouble to take it down with one last return, winning me the battle and the run. Oh, that felt good. The final number of resets is 18. I wonder if someone made a guess that came close to this result. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, I hope you liked this one. Playing through the game with Skitty was a lot of fun and I really hope I was able to transmit some of that enjoyment. I hate how long it takes for me to upload, but maybe now that the heatwave is over I'll manage to get more stuff done. We'll see. For now, nothing else to say, so you have a nice day. And as for me, back to theory crafting.